Artist Bethany Peck loves to paint the seascapes and landscapes of New England. When her daughter Jesena began interning at WestfordCAT, Bethany agreed to be interviewed for our Woman Empowered by Art series.
So you're here to talk about how you're a woman empowered by art. And I would like to know, how did you find your passion in art?
Wow, that's a really good question, Jesena. How did I find my passion in art? I guess it's always been there. So ever since I was a small child, I just always, I couldn't even articulate what art was, but I was always being creative and drawing. And when I was in my playing outside, I would, we had a brook that was running through our property, a little stream, and there was a willow trees that used to grow along the brook, and I used to like make little willow tree sculptures, and I would play in the mud, and I would build things, and my mother always had lots of art supplies around the house, so I was always creating and making things. So finding my passion, it's always kind of been something that I do, and it's just for me, it's a way to just express myself and my emotions, and it's a cathartic thing. When I'm making and being creative, it just makes me feel better, and it relieves stress, and so it's just a part of who I am.
Can you tell me about the type of art that you create? I see some of your paintings behind you in your studio.
Well, I'm a painter. I consider myself an expressionistic landscape, seascape painter. And so I'm really inspired by nature, by the elements, by land, water, sky, all these natural elements I love to put into my work, but I use them as like a vehicle to transport my emotions. So I put my emotions in my art using nature as my vehicle.
Have you been empowered by any other female artists that you know and work with?
I mean, going right back to when I was a small child, your first art teachers, Mrs. Coisy, like art. I mean, even my own mom, she always had art supplies, and she was a creative person, and she always, you know, made us feel like our art was important. And then through the years, I had different teachers through school that it was just nice to see them working in their studio and being creative. And then I did have a small period of time where I wasn't making art, and the first people that I told that I was an artist and that I was getting a studio here at Western Avenue was another female artist that I felt safe to confide in. And so I think and some of my best friends are women artists. So I think having that support system, nobody understands what it is like to be a female artist more than another female artist.
Can you tell me about what it's like being a woman in the arts?
It can be challenging at times. Um, Art, even though it shouldn't be competitive, it does seem like it can be at times. And sometimes, even though female artists can bring each other up, sometimes we also tend to be a little competitive. And where the male artists seem to be elevated to a certain standard, female artists seem to be fighting all for those for limited spaces and don't seem to get the accolades that their male counterparts do. So I think it's really, really hard. Plus, not only do we fight for these limited spaces, we also are juggling home and career, and there's a lot of different components that we're juggling, and which it seems like men often are able to be supported, and female artists have to do it all.
Do you have any advice for young girls who are interested in pursuing the arts?
I say that just really work hard at your craft. If you enjoy creating and making art, make the art that speaks to you, and you have to kind of develop a little bit of a thick skin. There's going to be critics. There are going to be some people where your art speaks to them, and there's going to be people that your art, it doesn't speak to them, and that's okay. Your art isn't for everybody. So you need to stay true to yourself, and don't let the negativity that you might hear out there damper your spirits. If you really want to be an artist, you just have to just concentrate on making the art good, make you the best art you can, and always be open to critique and making the art better.
How has being a mom, my mom, impacted your career in the arts?
Oh, I can't say, I love being a mom. And I think that my kids have been my best cheerleaders. I don't know where I would be without you guys. My family, for me, has been extremely supportive of this creative journey that I'm on. Um, when I'm feeling down, or even like if I need a mini critique, I know who that I can go and get honest feedback from my own kids, and and I just love watching my own children be creative. And being a mom, I get to be there for you, and watch you develop as an artist and as a creative person yourself. So I love being a mom, and yeah, sometimes it can be challenging as far as juggling, especially when kids are small, and trying to follow, make your art, and then you have to kind of weigh, that there's only so much time in the day. But I think that the benefits far outweigh any negatives.
Well, that's good to hear. And so my last question for you is, how has the pandemic affected your art, and what is it like to be an artist during this time?
Hmm. Well, I can't for myself, and I can't speak for other artists. Um, the pandemic has been a time for incubation. It's allowed me to create and not worry so much about having to interact with the public and show my art. So I had some shows that were canceled. I was supposed to have an art show, and that didn't happen. And financially, that's kind of been a hit. But at the same time, I've also had people who have started to buy my art, because they're home. They're home, and they need to look at things on their walls, and they want to have something in their homes that bring them happiness. So for me, it's been a good incubator time, just time to create, and and enjoy nature, because I've been outside a lot too.
Thank you again for agreeing to do a little Q&A with me.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. I'm really happy to have this time and to share my creative process with the viewers.